There, that's working. We had no audio. Sorry. Audio was broken there. Should be back now. So if you're here, just say something. Put an X in chat. Because I sometimes think, you know, who are these people silently watching the stream? Are they happy? Are they sad? Are they here by mistake? Raph! I wonder, are Twitch inflating the viewer numbers? It says 57 people, but there's only 4 people chatting.
Nice jump, Alistair.
Hulk Hogan's 24-inch pythons just resubbed for 9 months.
Thanks.
Something.
Lurkers. Alright, lurkers. I won't disturb you. I'm a lurker on streams as well. Unless it's someone I know, I tend to just... I don't say anything. So I get it. I was just curious. Oi, lovely. Downstairs I left my bonbons and my biltong. Can you grab them for me? Thank you, sweetie. Diego hit the post. Diego's turning him around inside out and all Witcher ways. Bless you, sweet girl. Thank you. Oh, that could be a rouge card. Luckily Diego missed. Oh dear. I missed though. Yes, I think that was a push, referee. Now we're got to score it. Iliax to take it. For Ilay. Ilay Moriba. Oh, he's chipped it in! Got balls on this kid. Oh, the Panenka. Did not take any jobs, no. Oh, that is a ridiculous ball. Ref! I believe it's a double penalty. Yeah. Oh! That's poor. That is also poor. Cancelleri, good ball to Faconia. He needs to start taking some of these chances, this young fella. Oof! Whoa, that was very, very close to good defending, chaps. Nice work, everyone. That was good. Ending your winless run against Bournemouth. So yeah, we are currently joint top of the table. Looking at the squad, looking at the transfer history. So we got Cole Chanter in from Man
Nice
City.
jump, Alistair.
Flying_Duckman just resubbed for 9 months.
Thank you. He's definitely not the finished article. He's determined. He's quick. He's decent crossing and dribbling. Good technique. Like he might come good. We got Diego on loan from Man U as another attacking option on the right. He's very good. We let David Tamari, Camise, Jaden Anthony, Eamon Barcock, Dulio Turcolio leave because they were never going to make it, in my opinion. And John Davies we loaned out. Last season, we sold Louis Fry to Troyes for 12.5 million. Ben Carroll went to Empoli for 17.5. We sold Greg Hilson to Stoke for 1.6 million. We also sold Scott Wharton, a long time Blackburn man, also to Stoke for 10 million quid. Alan Saint-Maximin, at 32, Norwich paid 17.5 million quid for him. I'll take that. Arsenal wanted Jordan Pickford, and they offered me 3.5 million quid for him, and he wanted to go. So I said to Piggy, fair enough, if you want to go, you can go. And Christian Bielik, the 31-year-old Polish lump, who was good on paper, not so good in actual fact, we sold to Cardiff for 3.5 million quid. We got Nikolai Slidojevic. Do you remember we had him on loan from Liverpool last season? They had a future fee offer where at the end of the loan I could buy him. So I said, that seems good. I like him. He's young. He's Serbian. I like that. Get him in the middle of the park. Manuel Musto, who we also had on loan from Tottenham, got him. Surplus to requirements, apparently. Calvin, a right defender at Spurs. They wanted to get rid of him. We bought him. Yannick Hoffmeier, do you remember we had him on loan from Dortmund? We had him on loan, and they said if you want him in future, you can have him for 23 million quid. And I was like, that sounds fantastic. So we got him as well. Matteo Cancelleri, I signed from Fulham for 20 million quid. I think he looks, he's in his prime, and he's a classy, skillful player. Good stuff. He's been good so far. He gets into good positions. He's reliable. And Robin Lenormand, obviously we signed for 24 million. He's our wise old head at the back that comes in to cover the young kids when they are tired or injured. And he's not great, but he fills a hole and he's okay. He's not as good as I'd hoped he'd be. He seems a little lackadaisical. I think we finished 11th or 12th. This season, the goal is to finish mid-table. That is what we've been set by the board. That is what I've spoken to the team about, and they were all on board with that. So I said, okay, mid-table, sounds good. I think we can do that. We basically kept the core of the team that we had last season. We got rid of some dead wood, like Jaden Anthony, who I was very pleased to see the back of, and a few other players who were just not going to cut it. Fry and guys like that. So as far as I'm concerned, we've got a nice solid team, mixture of experience and the young.
Nice jump, Alistair.
Alaskix just resubbed for 13 months.
Thank you. A young core to the team. We've got our goalie is 22. Our centre backs are 22 and 22. Our right back is 28, so he's experienced. Our left back, Johan Ann, 22. Our central midfielder, Rafael, 22. Matteo Cancelleri is 27. He's the wise head on the left. Diego, who we've got on loan, 21. Our striker, Jake Fakonia, 20. Also in midfield, Nicholas Ladajovic, 22. João Gomez, 28. So we've got the older players in the team are in their prime, 27, 28, 29, 30. Those are your prime years in FM. it's not uncommon for players to peak at 27 or 28 when they're wingers and stuff like that. Strikers, especially pace, strikers that rely on pace, like pure running machines, tend to peak a little bit earlier, I find. And defenders tend to be at their peak in their late 20s, early 30s. Zappa, Terrington, McIntosh, Cato, Ferguson, Mariba, Berard, Murphy, Hoffmeyer, Urrutia. Excellent. Yep, that's the team for me. Thank you for the sub. All right, lads. Time to show me what you're capable of. So Terrington, meant to be very good. Our coaches say he's going to be a big deal. Bullard, also a lad that people say is going to be very good. And our German striker, the Hoff, is meant to be the bee's knees, according to my scouts.
Nice jump, Alistair.
Rumble Feet just resubbed for 24 months.
Thank
The
you.
lad's better when I've got £600 on a dub this game.
Yikes. Bullard is really, I'm hoping he could be the next Raphael. Is that Lee Griffiths? Was that offside? Whew. Just stepped up in time. But Stuart Griffiths, young English striker. Crikey! That was fairly ridiculous. Who was that? Was that lad, Mohammed? Keep an eye on him. Oh, what a save. Yes, Zappa. That's a good professional foul right there. I wonder if that was Juddy Ilunga. He's a lad I've had on my... I think he's on my shortlist. Yeah, he's been on my shortlist for a while. Look at that. Look at that lad. He is 22. Look at his speed and dribbling skill. He went straight past my team. This is second season in the Prem. Turned into trouble there. That was poor. It's a foot race. Good defending. Pushed him wide. Get that goal, lads. Get that goal. Oh! I'll tell you who went up in a sec. I think Southampton... I can't remember who else. I think Southampton was one. Southampton, Brighton... Someone... You know what's amazing? When you wear glasses... Any glasses wearers in chat? When you wear glasses, the frequency with which you have to clean dust off them makes you realise how much particulate crap there is floating around in the air, especially when you go out into town or whatever. I popped into Twickenham earlier, pick up some things. Just dust and crap. That was a bad miss. Even I could see that without any specs on. Just all little specks of dust and tiny bits of grit and grime, and they must just be floating around. You're just walking into them. Your eyes do an incredible job of not being continually blinded. I mean, that's why we blink all the time, right? Whoa! The smudges. Like sometimes I reach up to adjust them and I bump it. And you get that finger smear on there and you're like, oh no. You're like, ugh. And then while you're cleaning it, one of your fingers slips around the side of the cloth and you realise you're wiping your finger all over your glasses, even worse. Sometimes what I do is I get a tiny bit of fairy liquid, put it on each of the lenses and just smear it all over both lenses, rinse it under the tap, and then just try to let it air dry. But I can never stand there long enough for it to air dry. I hate not being able to see. Your wrist? What, you mean you go like that with your clothes and get that bit? It depends what I'm wearing, but yeah, I'll sometimes do that. Or I'll get like my top like this, make that into a cloth to clean those flecks. Because sometimes if you're out and about, you just don't have anything to clean them with. And you don't want to use a tissue. Because a tissue, when you go like that with a tissue, it leaves all those tiny flecks of tissue material all over the glasses. And then you're like, and then while you're blowing, a tiny bit of spit goes on the glasses. You're like, fuck! Basically, it's a nightmare. People that don't need glasses. My sister has 20/20 vision. I don't know how. I need glasses. My mum needs glasses. My dad needs glasses. She has perfect vision. And incredibly thick hair. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Nice jump, Alistair.
Dr_Dad just resubbed for 21 months, lads.
Thank you, Dr. Dad. Thank God for eyelids, so us seeing people don't get this shit. I am a seeing person. I suppose if you have to wear glasses and you can't do things without them, does that count as somewhere on the blindness scale? Because I assume there must be a scale of blindness. And at what point are you counted as like your blindness becomes a disability? Because if I was out and my glasses were broken, I would literally be unable to function levels of blindness. Like to the point where I would basically be unsure crossing the road. Do you know what I mean? Well, yes, a lot of people who are blind can still see. So they're sort of what is it they say, clinically blind, right? Where you're to the point that you literally cannot, no glasses can correct how blind you are. I mean, I know some people with unbelievably thick glasses are essentially visually impaired, clinically, you know, suffering from some level of blindness to the point where they really do struggle to see, even with glasses on. Here's another question I've got for you. All right, do any of you have a lazy eye? And I mean, I'm talking about, I know some people. There's a guy on the Dota scene. He works for one of the teams. He's one of the guys behind the scenes. His squint, or whatever people call it, his like lazy eye is so bad that if he's looking straight ahead like that, one of his eyes is literally looking out this way. And when he turns his eyes around like this, they like... And now, my question is he literally just looking through one eye most that way, and the other eye is out here? And if so, how does his brain correct that? Because you're used to binocular vision where your eyes focus on the same thing. But when you have two eyes where one's going like way out here and one's going straight ahead, are you basically just looking through one eye, your dominant eye, and the other one is just sort of just ignore what that one's doing? I'm curious, because a friend of mine has a really bad lazy eye where one is straight ahead and the other one is like way off here, and he looks at you and you think, which eye am I looking in here? Do you know what I mean? So what's happening with the other one there? Yes, very good. Just one. So you're generally just looking through one of your eyes and the other one is just whatever. But are you still seeing it? Like whatever the other eye is looking at? Because my other eye here, by his squint, would be looking over at my golf clubs in the corner there. So he's sitting here looking like that, and if he wanted, he could just switch to the other eye and get a perfect look on the left. You mostly look through your good eye, I see. Your brain just gets rid of it. I mean, I know that your nose is technically, if you look down, if you close your eyes and look down, you can see your nose very clearly, especially mine because it's quite a big nose. But when you're just looking, your brain just goes, we'll just ignore all this. We'll get rid of this. It's like it's not there. Because people with big noses, you'd think, you'd see that all the time. But your brain just goes, we don't need to see that. We know what it is. We knows what it is. By the way, if you want to look up... you can look at World Cup and European Championship videos there. These are on YouTube. Every goal.
Já meteu alta.
With commentary.
Anderson botou na frente, Tafarel e o gol. Gol!
Goal! Brazil, Sweden.
Muitos gols no jogo de Stanford. Camarões faz o primeiro gol, o baixinho, Romário partiu, bateu! Gol! Gol!
And listen to what they do in the Brazilian commentary. You hear that?
No jogo de Stanford.
Listen to this. This is a little bonus when you're watching Brazilian television and they score.
Camarões faz o primeiro gol, o baixinho, Romário partiu, bateu! Gol! 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 Gol!
Brazil!
Карпин. Хороший пас. Ну же! Ну как так? Ну же!
You hate South American commentary? I love it.
3-0. России, которая играет в белой форме и в зеленой команда Камеруна. Вот атакует сборная Камеруна. Сборная Камеруна может какие-то допускать промахи в обороне. Это надо учитывать. Пас! Ну же! Гол! И есть шансы. В случае победы еще раз атака нашей сборной. Ну же! Пятый. Радченко выходит 1 на 1. Надо бить. Удар! И мяч в ворот.
Van Vossen. Hij probeert het wel, is de tweede man nu ook kwijt. Dit moet nou iets worden en het wordt niks. Of toch, Bergkamp.
Oh, look at that! Did you guys see that finish? Look at this from Bergkamp. Look how quickly he changes his feet. Watch
De
this.
tweede man nu ook kwijt. Dit
Just
moet
look
nou
at
iets worden
Bergkamp's
en het
feet.
wordt niks. Of toch, Bergkamp.
Look at that. That is insane. His technical ability was insane. I just want to show you again. Just look. I'm going to slow it right down. Look at what he does with his feet. He comes onto the ball here. He gets it out of his feet. Left foot. And then look how that is so difficult to do. Your balance has to be so good.
ما كاينش الشروط افتتاح الجيش شنو غادي يعملوا شي مرات بين الزياده
Bergkamp. 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 Roy.
باندير تنقطع توصل لسعيد العوران
Bergkamp was incredible. Just a pure footballer.
ماشي سعيد
Oh, this is a really famous goal.
حاول يعدي وراح اثنين حيصلحها حيشوف سعيد الجول حيشوف الجول جول جول
Nice jump, Alistair.
Bedford 95 just resubbed for 4 months.
Bergkamp.
Just look, this goal is famous, this Saudi Arabia goal.
تنقطع توصل لسعيد العوران وبيجري مع مدفيد ماشي سعيد ماشي كورة مع سعيد بيحاول يعدي وراح اثنين حيصلحها حيشوف سعيد في الجول حيشوف الجول جول
Cynical Soapbox raided with 14 viewers.
Thank you, Cine. Well, listen to the commentator laughing. He can't believe it. He cannot believe it.
now. Here's George. Oh! That's a terrific goal by Benini George. A really clever piece of thinking. Deep into injury time. And Nigeria have taken the lead. Still no sign of the final whistle. Amokachi plowing through.
Whoa!
Well, that's finished it now. And that will go down.
Nice jump, Alistair.
This
Sperolets
Bulgarian
just
team was
resubbed for
nuts.
64 months. Who is going to win World Cup?
Don't.
Mateus hit quickly and a chance here for Vola.
Rudy Voller.
Well, that was a reply
This
from
Germany
Vola.
team was insane.
He's back helping out, but is it a goal? Yes. Now he's made his mark at the other end as well. Klinsmann with Vola. Vola again, and Klinsmann.
Oh!
Well, this is an incredible start to the game. 2-1. Jurgen Klinsmann, his 5th goal of the World Cup finals.
Look at that strike. Just perfect.
Seriously tests goalkeeper Prudha. Get the keeper straight back, and it's a goal. It's Vola again.
I think Rudy Voller personified English fans'
Trying to go through.
idea of what Germans look like. Especially in the 90s. This is to me the face of German footballers in the 90s. Mullet, weird little mustache, intense face. Just and much better than us. Rudi Völler. Yeah, Rudi! Rudi! Yeah, you've scored such a good goal, Rudi. We'll try a Carriolero. Yeah, the mullets. But the German team of the 90s, they all had mullets. Because that's the thing. It always felt like they looked like a bunch of Scousers, I think, with the mullets. But it felt like Germany was always a little bit behind. When everybody had got out of denim, they were still wearing denim. You are the first Dota talent who was interested in football. This is not true. You are just thinking of the Dota talents that you know, many of whom are probably Amerikanskis. But a ton of the players are into football, and like a lot of the European guys, like I think Lizard's into football. I know Lacoste is into it a bit. Goal! Brazil!
Nice jump, Alistair.
Zarok just resubbed for 37 months.
Thank you. Look at that, Cancelleri using his experience there. Great ball. Raphael, lovely little touch through to Faconia, just slots it. Rijkaard. Is this the same save as when you were at Orient? Yes, it is. Yeah. Rijkaard gobbed on him, didn't he? Spat in his hair. Got sent off for that, I believe. I think. Maybe not. Like Germans were still into David Hasselhoff. The Scorpions were big in Germany. Well after the Scorpions, in my opinion, should have been considered dead and buried. The wind of change, wind of change. Oh! Take me to the wind of tomorrow on a stormy night. In the wind of change, the wind of change. Oh, this pressure is unbelievable. But so there was I think it was on Quickly Kevin. You know that German comedian? That was not in the box, Ralph. What's that German comedian's name? Odd-looking fellow. He's a bit of an odd guy, in all honesty. Does all the panel shows. Pickford went to Arsenal for some reason. Henning Vane, yeah, that's right. He was saying that he finds it fascinating that English fans think that there's a big rivalry between them and Germany. But there really isn't. Like, the Germans barely notice us as rivals because what do they care? We never used to beat them. They always beat us, you know. It's the Dutch. That's the rivalry. Germany against the Netherlands. That's why it all kicked off. Oh. Oh, hello. Thanks. Absolute brain fart from the keeper here. You do see that. You do see that. Rijkaard fouled Voller, got yellow for that, then spit in Voller's hair. Voller complained to the ref and got yellow for it. Then shortly after, Voller fouled Rijkaard, got sent off with an immediate red, and then Rijkaard spit on him again. Amazing. Keep going, boys. To the moon. Oh, that's his hat trick. Beautiful goal. Molly-whopped? I don't know what on earth molly-whopped means. Is that a sentence? Is that a saying? Molly-whopped. When a man is receiving oral sex and he withdraws his penis from the girl's mouth and proceeds to smack the girl in the face with his penis. Why would you do that? For Konya's free kick stat is not even good. We don't have a good free kick taker. It's just occasionally they go in, I guess. Well, shit, boys. That's Calvin Phillips. .33, still banging him in apparently. A good win. Nice work, everyone. That was good. Do you do all your off-season away from stream? Well, yeah, it's like, it's pretty boring. You know what I mean? It's like me going through and trying to find players and sort out all the fucking loans, do all the pre-season shit. And there's a lot of processing. The game goes away and chugs along like that, and I just figured, who wants to see that? Right, let's go through the Premier League. So, new this season, I believe... Norwich, I think? No, they were here last season. I think Brighton? Southampton? Or wait, Leeds? Did we play them last season? Maybe we did. Brentford? Did they just come up? I want to say Southampton, Brentford, and... sorry, I want to say Southampton, Brentford, Brighton? So last season, Watford, Palace, and Forest went down. And Brentford, Southampton, Brighton came up. Stoke missed out in the playoffs. Burnley lost 3-2 to Brighton in the playoffs. Full match details are not available for this fixture. Can I even just see the scorers? Oh man, it doesn't keep all the data. So Xhaka Fokonya's free kicks is only 12. Yeah, I start with Leyton Orient, who were in League 2. So we took them from Down here, fighting all the lot of this lot. Not Solihull Motors. They came up last year. Then so we won League 2 in our first season with 102 points or something. Absolutely romped it. Then we were in League 1 for 3 years. We made the playoffs. We finished 6th, 4th, and then we won it. And the season we finished 6th, and the season we finished 4th, we went out in the playoffs. So pretty close games. Then we went up to the championship and we got promoted, and I was offered the Blackburn job almost straight away, like pre-season. So I thought, okay, I've won 2 league titles. Let's have a crack at a bigger team, bigger club with a big stadium, because Leyton Orient still had a very small ground. And they still do. Same little Brisbane Road Park. And whilst I was doing well with them, I didn't think that they were... I thought I'd outgrown them, essentially. You know what I mean? 4 seasons at Leyton Orient, I thought we can move on. You know what I mean? We can do better. So I took them over there, and we finished 1st, and then we finished 6th, 4th, 1st, and then the season I left them, they finished above us. So that was the season I came in, and I took Blackburn up to 6th. We were meant to finish mid-table or top half, and I managed to squeak into the playoffs on the last day because Luton and because the other results, Hull and Ipswich, the results went our way. So we snuck in. We drew Leyton in the first round, and we lost to them in fairly brutal fashion. So I had to endure the taunts of the Leyton fans who had finished 3rd in their first season in the top flight. Nikolai Muller, who I had not signed, wished I'd signed. But in the closed season, we went out and signed some good players, got some good players on loan, and romped it, 102 points. And then last season, we finished 13th, 47 points, 11 points clear of the drop. Had a really good run towards the end of the season. So we started off. We beat the champions. Newcastle had won the league. We beat Palace, and then we won in the cup. And it was like, well, this is easy. Then we drew with Wolves. And I was like, okay, well, now maybe this is getting harder. And then we got we got 1 win. We beat Arsenal somehow. And then look, this is awful. In this whole stretch, how many games is that? So 19 games, we took 13 points from a potential, what is that? 19 games, 57 points. 19 from 57. It was really bad. And I fight around with the tactics a wee bit, gave the lads a good talking to, and we brought in maybe 2 players, and then we had a really good run. This was the run that kept us up, where we only lost once in 12 games, and with 3, 6, 9, 10, 12, 13, 9, 21, 22, 23, 24 points. So those 24 points kept us up, essentially, because we then lost the next 4, but then we did win our last game of the season. But yeah, I mean, you know, these were obviously bad results. But yeah, financially, we're doing okay. We managed to balance the books reasonably well. As you can see, we spent almost our entire transfer budget. Yeah, a bunch of players that I didn't think were up to it were able to sell. 15 million here, 20 million there. Especially to get nearly 20 million for Sam Maximan. I was very happy about that. He's like 32. I'll be back in a moment. I need to get some water. Matsy, your aunt hasn't moved yet, has she? Okay. Mum wants to know addresses. I think your cousins live in Sander Close, don't they? Yeah, I don't know why she's asking. It's like they haven't moved. This is such a dog shit amount of money. Renteria. Gosh, she looks good. Good Lord. Some monsters in their squad. Oh, they are really short of defensive midfielders. Ooh, I'd love to have Rodri. They've got Jude Bellingham and Rodri, and they want to buy my lad. Dickheads. Tell you what, you give me Rodri, you got a deal, Man City. It's a dog shit amount of money. I'm sorry, he's going to come moaning. I have no idea what I'm doing. What team are you playing, Aoki? He's furious. It would be better if you would agree to being used as an impact sub. Oh. Okay. So, Fernino comes storming in. Boss! You haven't started me yet this season. What is going on? I was our main striker last season. You signed me and you said you're going to be my #1 choice. Well, Fer, sit down. First of all, I apologise for not talking to you about this before. I thought it would be obvious. You're on the training pitch with me. You see the lads week in, week out. You can see what these boys can do. These young lads we've got here now. I mean, they're just different gravy, aren't they? Eh? God, Newcastle's spent 235. They signed Warren Zaire-Emery for £224 million? But he... I don't... 224. Man City sold Enzo Fernandez to PSG. Tin Den Bogand went to Man U. These are some scary players. Romeo Lavia went to PSG. And Warren Zaire-Emery went to Newcastle. £224 million. Das ist verrückt. Das ist verrückt. Because if PSG and Man City and Newcastle are shuffling money around, it does feel like money laundering, doesn't it? Huh? Rich oil baron types giving money to each other in exchange for... It's like one of those old VAT carousels. Game's gone. Game's gone.
Chapuzat en el suelo. Hizo bien Hierro porque tenía que dar Sergi. Ahí
Vamos
se
por
va
encima,
Hierro.
Fernando. ¡Gol!
Cael.
Ahora.
Muy bien ahí Sergi, pero no le va a dejar posición de disparo para Luis Enrique.
Gol.
Gol. El lanzamiento. Y gol. El tercero lo ha tirado.
Anderson's cross, Darlene getting onto it. Action told the whole story then. He knew he
Darlene, Darlene, Darlene.
Again, and he's done well to get over the first challenge. It's great play by Anderson. Oh, that's just superb.
It means they haven't asked more questions of them.
But there's a problem now. And good play by Cristiano. Oh, that they could get back in the game. Here goes Broly and Darlene. It could still be all over yet. It is.
You go.
5 jucători români în fața porții apărate de Islas cu efect. Gol! Ilie Dumitrescu.
Hadji was amazing. Batty! They just called him Batty. Yeah, I love Batistuta. He's one of my favourite players of all time. But the commentators just call him Batty. Oh, that is such a lovely finish.
Ilie Dumitrescu, un singur apărător argentinian, a apărut și al doilea. Ilie Dumitrescu în târzie, pasează pe partea dreaptă lui Hadji.
Hadji! He was also one of my favourite players.
Cáceres, el rebote viene para Balbo, gol, Balbo, gol. Gol! Overmars is snel, sneller dan Ben. Overmars, leg hem op Bergkamp. Bergkamp scoren, yes!
The Dutch commentators I love.
Het lijkt zo simpel wat hij allemaal doet. Het lijkt zo makkelijk. Jong! Wow, 2-0! 2-0!
Cadê o gol? Romário, parte o machinho, a esperança é sempre você.
Romário was
Vai,
amazing,
Romário,
what a player.
vai, Romário, acredita, faz Bebeto!
Bebeto!
Faz Bebeto! Faz Bebeto! Gol! Gol! Gol!
Back.
Brazil.
Of course, was a terrific header of the ball. And here is a chance and a goal. They are big players. Now Busi, is he going to get through here? Baggio!
Baggio!
It's a goal from Roberto Baggio and the Italians.
I love those huge nets they had. Wow! Hernandez. That was such a good Bulgaria team. Yordov, Lechkov, Boromirov, all the obs.
Dino Baggio might think about a shot. Oh, it's a great effort! Wonderful goal, Dino Baggio. 25 minutes gone, Italy. The pace of the match just beginning to pick up a little bit. Under the feet, Cavaniero! Equalise! Signori to Roberto Baggio, he'll get there. Baggio!
Oh.
Still Baggio, he's gone wide!
Oh! That touch around the keeper is so good. Look at this. He barely moves it.
Italy lead 2-1. And there are
What a
less than
player.
3 minutes to play.
Sair, dono da defesa, faz o corte. Enfiou para Bebeto, posição legal. Posição legal. Romário no meio. Vai, Romário!
Oh.
Vai, Romário! Tentando confirmar a sua vaga nas semifinais. Para enfrentar o vencedor. Vai, Bebeto, que ele não deu nada. Vai, Bebeto, que ele não deu nada. Vai, Bebeto! Vai, Bebeto! Que beleza! Que beleza! Que beleza! Gol!
The famous Rock the Baby celebration.
O gol. Vamos ver lá, o jogar. O Bergkamp é perigoso.
Oh.
Tem bola na área do Brasil, olha o perigo. Gol. Perna esquerda, partiu, bateu. Gol! 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 Gol!
Bateu. Германия. Смотри, появилась Stoichkov. Великолепный фойер! Христо Stoichkov!
Christo Stoichkov, another legend.
Played wide. What a good free kick.
Whoa!
What a good free kick.
Thomas Brolin, what happened to him?
It cannoned up.
He went to, was it Leeds he went to and it was terrible?
Hadji played it in there now for Dumitrescu and he wanted too long. It's another goal for Chow. Normal time. Know that you've got to push everybody forward. He scored a goal. The Romanians go through. And we scored.
There's the young Sebastian Larsson.
Sweden go through. The goalkeeper's the hero.
Roberto Bayo y Yankov, siempre su marcador, se ha llevado Bayo. De bien Bayo.
Oh. Baggio, the divine ponytail.
De nuevo de Roberto Bayo, que ha buscado precisamente ese hueco. Por el efecto, qué bien pegó a la pelota. Albertini. Albertini, de nuevo Bayo. Bayo, el segundo.
He doesn't just put it in, he puts it in the absolute corner.
Al lanzamiento Pavluka bajo los palos, le ha engañado muy bien. Y el 2-1 para el gol de Bulgaria.
Falta e na cobrança da falta fez o gol. Vamos Brasil, vamos Brasil. Vamos Jorginho. Olha o cruzamento para Raí, olha o gol. Gol! Olha o gol! Gol! Olha o gol! 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 Gol!
Brazil! Oh, who cares about third place?
Final de 100.
Anne is showing pleasing progress. It's a bit of a lump, but I like that. Just gets the job done. Just a dependable lad he's become. His debut was abysmal.
20 minutos. É gol da Itália. Momento de angústia. Partiu Romário, pé direito, bateu, vai gol! Gol! Sai que é sua, Tafarel! Bateu no meio do gol, pra que se mexer? Lá vai Branco. Vai partir a bomba na perna esquerda. Partiu Branco, bateu, é gol! Ele, Tafarel. Partiu Massaro, pé direito, bateu. Tafarel! Vai que é sua, Tafarel! Vai que é sua, Tafarel! Ajeitando o Dunga. Ele e o Pavluka. Partiu Dunga, pé direito, bateu. É gol! É
He's
gol!
the captain, Dunga.
Baixo e Tafarel. Vai partir, vai que é sua, Tafarel. Partiu, bateu, acabou! 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 É tetra!
Amazing stuff. USA 94. England didn't make it. Well, I think the grounds were big because it was USA 94, so I assume they were all American football stadiums that they converted. I mean, especially because it was like, you worry that that's what people are going to remember Baggio for. You know, people remember that moment. But he was incredible. He was absolutely incredible. So I'm going to show you guys something else as well. This is all the goals from the 1966 World Cup.
And this is the man who is out there. Oh, yes! Left too late. Was there to go for, and that's where he was wrong. The Mexicans should have
Opciones, ¿qué tal, Juan? Lanzamiento de la pena máxima y el gol de Francia.
Bien golpeado por de Bourgoin, un jugador argentino.
Viñas, el balón hacia atrás y el gol de Uruguay. Empate Uruguay. Pedro Rocha, el hombre que al final se hacía que buscaba Pedro Rocha y ahí llega el gol.
So the commentary in the different languages has had to be over the top of the English comments. Because I guess back then they didn't have a way of splitting the audio and the video. Or it wouldn't have been video, it would have been... God, how would they have done this in 1966? I guess it would have been it would have been a live video feed. Dog shit quality. I mean, this was like the same technology they used when they went to the moon, right? Just that live video camera. So I don't know if they could have split, because you can hear the English commentary underneath the Spanish language commentary.
Maybe a shot from Charlton. We're trying.
God, what a goal from Bobby Charlton.
And it freezes the track. And Charlton has zipped them out of that fence now. Has restored. These in comes Jack Charlton. And the goal is a referee. Where is he? A goal, yes. It's Hunt. And Hunt. A goal.
Terrible keeping. Just a handshake.
Beckenbauer.
Franz Beckenbauer. People booing them. The people booing them.
Getting it back again. I don't know whether he can get his shot.
I mean, bearing in mind, at that point, 1966, just over 20 years since the war ended, how many people in the crowd fought in that war? Someone my age in that crowd, you German bastards! It would have been unbelievable. Has it always been 9 subs? I think they've increased the number of subs we get now. Yeah, Jack Charlton's career, absolutely insane. All those older guys. I mean, Franz Beckenbauer's career, isn't he like president or whatever of Bayern München? Christ, this is a stadium, isn't it? They're missing a corner, but it's very nice. Well done, Wolves. There's us. Yay! Can we beat Wolves at their place? It's a test. Oh, Højbjerg was available on a free. He's good, but I've got too many young midfielders I want to play. I didn't think I had a place for Højbjerg, but I would have signed him. If Gomez had left in the summer, I would have signed him. God, Fakonya's just a pest, isn't he? Oh, he did the dropping your trousers celebration to the Wolves fans. I bet they loved that. Get out of Wolverhampton, you bugger! Don't you come back, Fakonya, you bugger! Christ, Kelvin. Cancelleri. Oh, Ham Gomes! This game is free on Game Pass Ultimate. It says the main story takes 42 hours to complete. What do you mean the main story? I reckon we've got 40 hours in it already. Oh, Christ. Wee bit more than that. 117 already. Go on, Diego. Goal! Brazil! Oh, referee! That's appalling. That's an appalling challenge. Memphis to pay is 35. Oh, what a ball. Oh. Did FM21 save as Inter loaned some guys, put a stipulation of 80 million if we win the Champions League, and we won the Champions League. So wait, when you loaned him out, you put a thing in, a clause that said if we win the Champions League, you have to pay us 80 million quid. Or when you loaned the guy, you said to the opposite, the loaning team, if we win the Champions League, we'll give you 80 million quid. You loaned him in. Oh, so you had to pay 80 million quid. Yeah, that ain't too clever. Well, that's how you got him? They were like, yeah, we'll loan him to you with a promise of 80 million quid. 80 million! It was a win and a good performance, lads. Well done. Yeah, delighted with the win. Obviously, Wolves have been a tricky place for us to come in the past, so to come here and get all 3 points is very gratifying. The performance as well was very, very good. I thought all the lads played well. Some cracking goals, and I think we were just a nuisance to them. We didn't let them settle into their game at all. So yeah, really, really tremendous result. Yeah, I realise we're top. Obviously, it's only 4 games. We don't need to get too excited, but yeah, very, very good performance and a terrific result. So happy with the start so far. I think being able to keep the core of the players here, who know the system, who know each other, who play well together has been vital, and the players that we brought in have plugged some gaps and brought some quality as well. So delighted with the start so far. By the way, check out this result. Chelsea 4, Man City 4. Haaland hat-trick. N'Golo Kante scored. So look at this. 62 minutes, 63 minutes. So it was like goal. Pretty nuts. But that's us top. Can we maintain? All the goals
La jugada por la banda derecha
from 1966.
Y cómo no, 40 días en Santiago de Compostela. El remate y el gol. Y ahí está el empate de España.
Just jumps into the keeper.
El remate, ha entrado Pirri. Buen balón para Artime, atención a Artime, que se mete en el área. El disparo de Artime y el segundo gol de Argentina. El segundo tanto para Argentina, segundo de nuevo para Artime. Uy, fíjate qué buena jugada ahí.
Este es el gol. Sí.
Ahí está el gol de Quentin. Pues fíjate las peritas en dulce, cómo empezaba Suiza, ¿no? Cómo se exponía el partido. Sanchís, sigue avanzando Sanchís, haciendo también la acción individual y el golazo de Manolo Sanchís. Empató España. Jugada individual parecida a la que hizo en la primera parte. Gento. Buena ahora la galopada de Gento. Amancio aparece y el golazo en plancha de Amancio tirándose de cabeza.
Qué golazo, ¿eh?
Consiguiendo el segundo gol para España. Se ha hecho daño Amancio.
I think he's lost some teeth. Christ.
Onega's there. And Onega flicked it through. A beautiful goal.
It was so rough, wasn't it? Players just smashing into each other.
Vamos a ver la jugada de España. Atención, para con el pecho Fusté y el
Great
primer
goal
gol de la selección española.
Sí, señor. Este es el
Sí, señor.
clásico gol ese que saltas en la butaca, rompes la mesa, la silla.
Gallego que envía fuera. Ahí está Gel, de nuevo para Emerich. Atención que hay peligro.
Ahí
Emerich.
está.
Vaya gol que metió Emerich.
Ahí está. De 100 veces le sale una y precisamente
That's
fue esa.
Y además a bote pronto. La presencia de Sanchís, interna Gel, el pase adentro, Seiler y el gol de Alemania. Qué mala suerte en ese despiste de la defensa española.
Nice jump, Alistair.
Barack Note Obama just resubbed for 4 months. K.
Ha sido Pelé. Minuto 15
Pelé.
esta primera parte. Se adelanta el conjunto canarí. Probar fortuna. Ahí está tomando carrerilla Garrincha. Y el segundo gol para Brasil. Marcó Garrincha.
Estamos hablando precisamente de este jugador. Uno de los...
El saque de esquina, el remate de cabeza y el primer tanto del encuentro ha sido José Augusto.
I think we've got a game. I know we've got a while. Yeah, we can watch it a bit more. I just want to see the difference between 1966. The football was a lot shitter, wasn't it?
Штрафную площадь соперников. Великолепно играет Бена. Согласитесь, что мяч редкий по красоте для чемпионатов мира. На второй минуте против бразильцев, да, по-бразильски. Может неплохо попасть по мячу. Ну а получается все совершенно иначе. Удар не сильный и даже может быть не точный. Мяч застревает в стенке. Передача вверхом и забивает Фаркаш. И забивает Фаркаш. Вот сколько атак подобных за первый тайм венгры провели. Хотя ему попало не по голове. Хватается Бена зря. Это, простите, это...
Hold on, we missed the start. I want to see Shearer absolutely clobbering it.
Нашел Ширера. Первый гол чемпионата. Первый гол чемпионата его забил Алан Ширер. Тот самый Ширер, которому просят лавры лучшего бомбардира Евро-96. Он открывает счет, использовал великолепный ход игры. Ой-ой-ой, руки! 11-метровый. Судья уверен. Внимание. 1-1. Я вам говорил, что возможно швейцарцы отыграют. Ведь это такая ситуация, что могут отыграться. 1-1. Тюркельмас убивает Тюркельмаса. И бьет Хорни Кройф.
Jordi Cruyff.
Хорни свой гол забил.
Вы помните моменты, которые у него были во втором тайме? Беркам! Беркам! Гол! Ну вот пришел вперед и Денниса Беркампа.
Невилл. Удар! Ширер! Алан Ширер забивает второй мяч на чемпионате Европы за сборную Англию и первый мяч в игре Шотландия-Англия. Действительно, только сказал, что Невилл очень мало участвовал на стадионе, это только нужно предполагать. Да, мы не слышим собственного голоса, но сработала старая
Oh, we absolutely lost our shit when that went in.
Простите, Маккой бьет и мяч среди девятку, блестящий гол. Алистер Маккой забивает свой 19-й гол за сборную. Первый забитый мяч шотландцами на чемпионате Европы.
Технично, пенальти.
Oh, this was against the Dutch.
Алан Ширер, он может сделать, забить третий мяч. Все так и есть. Короткий разбег, и несмотря на то, что Эдвин ван дер Сар угадал направление, будет комбинация, может быть, будет какой-то заслон. Ой, гол! Вот этого, знаете, не ожидал, по-моему, никто. Застыли не только футболисты на поле, застыли трибуны. Да, мяч попал на голову Тедди Шерингтона. Гаскоин.
Goal this was.
Будет удар. Гол. Ну, вы знаете, такое впечатление было, что голландцы будто бы застыли и смотрели, как Алан Ширер будет забивать. Еще, скажем, перед этим была возможность у Гаскоина поразить ворота. И может еще забить. Ой-ой-ой. Гол. Ну, вы знаете, это уже... что-то из разряда фантастики. Остановил мяч из трудного положения. Хороший пас. Удар. Гол. Но, наконец-то, взорвались аплодисментами голландские трибуны, голландский сектор, который находится за воротами Дэвида Симона. Размочили счет. Размочили счет оранжевые.
Nice jump, Alistair.
Brand Some just resubbed for 1 month.
The Holland goal meant Scotland didn't go through. Sorry, Scotland. So that was when I first got into football, was Euro 96. I would have been 19 or maybe I just turned 20. Yeah, I think I just turned 20. It's a long time ago, 26 years ago. So, because I started uni in 95, and then in the summer of 96, as we were finishing our first year at university, that's when the tournament was. And because I think we started in like October, and I was living in Plymouth, and we went to the Union to watch the game, and they cleared out there was a big hall in the Plymouth Union downstairs, filled it with chairs, and had a big screen at the front, and everybody just went absolutely bonkers. It was amazing. It was really good. It was a great crowd. Everybody was just so excited. It was wonderful, and I just fell in love with it. And I mean, I watched like Italia '90. And I'd watched like a little bit of USA '94, but because I wasn't into football, to my mates, Italia '90 and USA '94 were like much bigger, and it was only subsequently in the '90s that I go back and watch all those things. And playing Football Manager, of course, got to know all of these legendary '90s players. Football Italia on a Channel 4 Sunday morning. Loved that show. The best football TV show ever made. It was It was Serie A in the 90s when it was absolutely the best football on the planet, with the best players, best strikers, best midfielders, everybody. It was the peak of football, I think, was football in the 90s, because it hadn't been taken over by money yet. It wasn't this clean, polished, boring thing. A lot of players had a lot of character. There was a lot of individuality, a lot of flair. It was really something. And yeah, you know, the Quickly Kevin podcast is always going on about the 90s. 90s was just better, and it did feel like it had more character, more humor. It was just more human. Football now, it just feels so corporate, and even the football, all the players are just these fucking gigantic athletes, super professional, super boring. The only time you actually hear anything about them was when they fucking do some absolutely abysmal shit. I mean, someone like Gaza, I don't think we would produce someone like Gaza nowadays. I mean, Phil Foden is an amazing footballer, technically brilliant, but is he as much fun as Gaza? I don't know. I don't think any of them are as lovable or as bizarre. I think there was just a lot more bonkers footballers back then, and every team had 2 strikers. You know what I mean? Teams played with 2 strikers. Can you imagine such an era when, because everybody needed 2 strikers, there were fucking strikers everywhere, and it was just made football more exciting. That striking partnership was just much more exciting than what we ended up with now, where it's just one up front. It's just all about grinding in the middle, and then it's all just fucking ticky-taka bullshit. Just dull. What do you think the odds are of Arsenal winning the Premier League? I don't know. I don't know. I think Matt Letizia only missed 1 penalty in his career. I think it was Matt Letizia, just an unbelievable conversion rate. I remember reading something in World Soccer, Johan Cruyff insisting that there should be no such thing as a one-footed football player. Oh! That essentially, if you can't use both feet, it's because you haven't been trained properly. That it's just a balance, just a question of balance. And if you teach people how to balance properly when they're playing football, they should be able to use both feet equally well. Because he could. And he insists it was just balance. That's, I think, a load of absolute bollocks. For some reason, I've found a little YouTube rabbit hole. You know all those football YouTubers that do things like, they get a professional goalie in. And they take shots, and they see if, you know, he can stop how many, and what's it like playing with a Sunday League goalie versus a pro goalie and all that. There's one that I saw where they get a Jubilani ball, and the movement on it is insane. Absolutely insane. Like, they fire it at him. They're just kicking it at this goalie, and they get out of 50 shots. and they're shooting from like I think like here, or maybe, yeah, just the edge of the area sort of thing. I think they scored twice. And I mean, these guys are obviously decent, standard Sunday League footballers. You know, they're like young lads. They can shoot. They're obviously pretty good. But this is a pro goalie. I mean, he's only played professionally in Sweden, so he's not like some big time keeper. But he's still going to be light years better than some Sunday League lads. Oh, is that offside, referee? Lukaku? Lukaku back? But so they were shooting with the Jubilani ball, and it just, the things it does in the air are unnatural. It's like, also another thing I remember from that ball was how many long shots went absolutely fucking miles over. Like miles. Because they were used to hitting the balls a certain way and it moving a certain way, and now here it is going absolutely crazy. I love the Vuvuzelas. I don't know why people hate them. Whoa. Oh really? Ben Foster, eh? That sounds quite interesting. Christ. Got to do something there, Hal. Or Gavilia. We've got to do something there. Yes, Fur! Give it the Hoff! Raphael! Rafa! France '98 was amazing. That was a good tourney. That France team was so fucking good. Holy shit. Can I just say, lads? We're playing really fucking well. We've won every game we've played this season. When is the collapse coming? Away at Norwich. Or maybe away at West Ham. '14 World Cup was your favourite to watch? Mario Götze beating Argentina in the final. Was that the semi-final where they absolutely trounced Brazil? Is that where that was? We lost to Italy in the group stage.
Eastrose_ just resubbed for 13 months.
Then we lost to Uruguay, and then we drew with Costa Rica. God, you know, I do not remember that World Cup at all. It's like it didn't happen. Oh my God. I have no recollection of those games. I have no recollection of that at all. That was only 8 years ago. Honestly, it may as well not have happened. Who was in our squad? So the England squad was Joe Hart, Glenn Johnson, Leighton Baines, Stephen Gerrard, Gary Cahill, Phil Jagielka, Jack Wilshere, Frank Lampard, Daniel Sturridge,
Nice job,
Wayne Rooney,
Alistair.
Danny Welbeck.
On GAWWWWLLLSSS just resubbed for 7 months.
Thank you. Chris Smalling, Ben Foster, Jordan Henderson, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Phil Jones, James Milner, Ricky Lambert. God, really? Raheem Sterling, aged just 19. Adam Lallana, Ross Barkley, Fraser Foster, and Luke Shaw, aged 18. Was then at Southampton. That was Roy Hodgson. The 7 standby squad members were John Ruddy, he was a goalie, John Flanagan, God, I don't remember him at all, started off playing with Liverpool, John Stones, Michael Carrick, Tom Cleverley, Andy Carroll, and Jermaine Defoe. Only Stones and Flanagan joined the rest of the squad at training camp in Portugal. Wow. We'll watch all the goals from that one. I literally do not remember that World Cup happening. Yes, it was Frankie Gown, I think. That is a really bad team. Like, that is just a bad team. Isn't it? I mean, as evidenced by the fact that we finished bottom of our group. So our team, this was our team to face Costa Rica. Ben Foster, Gary Cahill, Chris Smalling, Phil Jones, Luke Shaw, Jack Wilshere, Frank Lampard, James Milner, Adam Lallana, Ross Barkley, and Daniel Sturridge alone up front. I assume that this was because we were already out, so Roy wanted to play some of the lads. So our team for the game, the loss against Uruguay, Joe Hart, Glenn Johnson, Leighton Baines, Gary Cahill, Phil Jagielka. I mean, that ain't great. Then we had Gerrard, Henderson, and Sterling in midfield, with Sturridge, Rooney, and Welbeck up front. Good God. 2010 South Africa? Fair enough. Ronaldo Man U situation. So I didn't realize they were paying him 500 grand a week. I think that's insane. I think bringing him back to the club at that age feels like a nice idea, but when you're struggling, I don't know if you want to bring back a player like Ronaldo, who's a... Like, the problem you're going to have with Ronaldo is, first of all, he's very old. Second of all, he's going to want to be the focus of attention and the fulcrum of the team, no matter how old he is and how fucking bad his physical stats are, if you want to think of it in Football Manager terms. His stamina and his pace and all the rest of it are not what they were when he was 27, right? And he was a world beater. Now he's 37, and he needs to chill. The problem is, he's like, where do you play him? If you play him wide, he doesn't have the up and down or the pace to beat people, so he's always just going to cut inside and blast it from range. If you play him alone up front, he's going to be a very static attacking player. To be absolutely fair to him, he's still tremendous in the air. He always was good in the air, and he's obviously got an incredible shot on him. His finishing and everything is ridiculously good, and he's going to be good for a good few goals for you this season, but he's not going to offer anything else. And if your team is set up one way, and then you bring in Ronaldo, you now need to set it up around Ronaldo, which is a problem, because he's not what he was, by far. I think he is still a good player, and I think if Bournemouth signed him or something and stuck him up front, I'd be pretty happy about that. You know, he's a fucking good player. He's definitely going to get a few goals for you. He's good, and his free kicks and everything is always a threat. You know, he's a strong player, but he's not good enough if you want to be Man U breaking into the top 4 again. He's just not. So yeah, I think he's dropped off massively because he's old. I mean, if you think about the difference between 30 and 31, and speaking from personal experience, the difference between, say, 36 and 38, you do really start to notice things dropping off in terms of your fitness and your overall well-being. I mean, he's in incredible shape for a guy of his age playing at that level of football. But I don't think that it's worth building a team around a 37-year-old former superstar. So, you know, that's the risk you have if you sign him. You better make him the big deal, or he's going to make a big load of fucking noise. Because he's not the kind of guy to keep his head down and be like, I'm just happy to help out, bring me on when you can, here, yeah, I'll help out with the kids, love to be a coach here when I retire, whatever. Club ambassador, whatever you need. Instead, he's like sullied any memory that they had of him permanently, and I think a lot of people are going to regret his return, in a sense that they're just going to be like, it's kind of spoiled the history of Ronaldo at the club, and that it should be an incredible story. It's like, that's when they had players like Cantona, you know, Ronaldo, those kind of superstar players that Man U brought in, and they seem to be the only club in the country who did bring in those players. Like when Man U brought in Cantona, and he was like the superstar of the Premier League. He was like so much character, amazing player, won the league for them. Then subsequently, you know, he retires, whatever. They've still got a great team. Then they bring in Ronaldo, this young superstar in the making, who goes on to be incredible for them and goes on to having a stunning career. That's where the story should have ended. Is, wow, Ronaldo, what a player, what a legend. Comes back for one season, and then, you know, they bring him off the bench as a sort of super sub. But no, instead he's just had to run his mouth, and I think they're right to fire him. That is a ridiculous goal from Pau Gomez, by the way. And he had to go. And if there was any doubt that Ronaldo's a complete cunt, surely now we all know. Right, so he gets past his man in midfield, breaks past the defender, brings it in close, and then smashes it past the keeper. What a goal. I mean, he loves free kicks because he gets to be the focus of attention. And it's like him. You get the close-up, you know what I mean? He's kind of like a movie star in some ways. So he's looking for that close-up where he can go and then do his run-up, and like, I'm sure some of them, they look impressive. He did score some good free kicks. The thing is, free kicks are not something that people... Like, let me give you some idea of how frequently people score free kicks, right? So let's find a really good free kick taker. Let's go to Southampton's team. They have one of the best free kick takers in the Premier League, in James Ward-Prowse. So James Ward-Prowse, in the Premier League, he scored 10 goals last season. I'd like to think most of those were free kicks, right? That's exceptional. That's exceptional. People normally don't score that many free kicks. How many free kicks do teams score per season? So the conversion rate for a free kick is 6% if it's a direct shot on goal. 6%. So 1 in 20 free kicks goes in. It's pretty mad, isn't it? Juninho Pernambucano, or however you pronounce his name. Well done, everyone. We beat Burnley. We beat the scum of Burnley at our gaff. Full house. Love to see that. I think Ian Hart did take free kicks, didn't he? He was very good. So, this was... When it comes to the stats around free kicks, there are numerous different sources. Work by American Soccer Analysis in 2018 looked at 12,728 free kicks that had been taken in the MLS and found that 272 goals were scored from them. In short, the research discovered that teams that want to increase their chances of scoring from a free kick should have as many shots as possible from as close to goal as possible, therefore foregoing the desire to put crosses into the box. This was evidenced by the fact that the MLS player Sebastian Giovinco took 184 free kicks and went direct 70% of the time, scoring 13 times and getting 1 goal from a cross. So he scored 13 goals from 184 free kicks. Right? It's really hard to score from free kicks. So I remember Roberto Carlos used to take free kicks for Real Madrid and Brazil. They were always dog shit, apart from that one he scored against France in Le Tournoi, where it went on the most bendy route possible into the goal. You just don't score. You don't score from free kicks. It's not a thing. Like it's very rare you get a player that can do it consistently. Sinisa Mihailovic was very, very good at scoring from free kicks. The keeper, Chilavert, Jose Luis Chilavert, I think it was, scored a lot of goals. Took penalties as well, and if he missed them, he had to go running. So he scored 46 goals in his career, including 36 for Vélez Sarsfield. And he scored 8 times. He is one of only 2 keepers to score a hat-trick. He is still only the 2nd highest scoring goalie of all time. The most highly scored, the goalie who scored the most was Rogerio Ceni, who was the professional football coach and former player of Sao Paulo FC. He played 1,237 professional club matches. That's insane. He started in 1990 and finished in 2015. He played for a club called Sinop. And then he played for Sao Paulo from 1993 to 2015. And in one season he scored 10 goals. That's insane. That is insane. Career total appearances 1,209. That's absolutely bonkers. Oh, fuck off. That's him saving a shot. Against Diego. Now he's got a lot of free kicks. Whoa, that's bonkers. There's Ceni. Anyway. to like this. It's greedy, but I like it. Keep it going, lads. Keep it going. Ole! We finished 14th last season. No. Suchek. Oh, wrong-footed Musto. Yes, Diego. Rafael! Vagonia! He loves to just gently score goals. He doesn't hit them hard. He just taps them whoop, just enough to get it over the line. Look at this. This is almost teasing the keeper. Just a little teaser. Jesus! Keep working hard, lads, until full time, all right? Don't be thinking, you know, we got a goal up on them. Just keep working hard. It's all about hard work. It's about the press. It's about looking for opportunities. It's about taking our chances. And it's about that shit from Rafa, just robbing him. Okay. Rafa's having a season of his fucking life, by the way. Okay, that was poor. Oh, Anne's grown a beard. Jumped. Poor wee Diego. Oh, has he fucking clonked my man there, referee? Yes, I think so. An elbow for Cole Chandler there. Unfortunately, why do they keep beating my lads up? Cole, you're coming off anyway, son. Have a nice bath. We're going to put Urrutia on. And let's put... Let's get McIntosh on for Gaviria, who's looking knackered. And that'll do. Ferguson on for Raphael, who's exhausted. Actually, bring him off for EX Mariba. Come on, lads, we can get a goal here. Shame. Well, a point away from home. We'll take that, even though it means we didn't win. We will take that. Yeah, first points dropped to the season, obviously disappointing from a winning position, but set piece defending is something we need to work on. They're young lads, they sometimes switch off, or you know, they get out muscled. Some of these lads are a bit more experienced, and you know, you see they're in there pulling and tugging and standing on our wee tiny lads' shoulders. But you know, you've got to learn. You've got to learn the hard way. It's a tough game. It's a big league. These lads are big, strong lads you're going to be up against. You've got to be tough. You've got to toughen up. And also, I do want to say, I thought the sending off was entirely correct. That is the second time this season that a player of ours has been elbowed. And whilst I hate to see my players getting hit, it goes to show you the respect these teams have to have for us now, that they have to start resorting to physical assault and battering our lads instead of attempting to play football against them. We've scared them. They're scared. They're running scared. And long may it continue. He does caress it in, yeah.
Хорошая передача на Константинова. Надо бить. Удара не вышло, пенальти.
Пенальти!
Мяч не забил, но пенальти за воротами. Кубисарет и Стоичков бьет, попадает в штанги в ворота. Христо Стоичков забивает первый мяч болгарской сборной. Вообще первый мяч болгар в финалах чемпионата Европы. Попадает в стенку, Серхи бьет. Отскок и гол! От кого мяч отскочил? По-моему, от только что появившегося на поле Альфонса. Ну вот и удача.
Но Джуркаев навешивает. Как нерасчетливо выходит из ворот Теле. Сталкивается со своим защитником. По такой крутой траектории вылетает в румынские ворота. Да.
Macht's alleine. Stoichkov.
Die dritte Minute.
Die dritte Minute.
Der Auftritt des Superstars. Христо Стоичков bringt Bulgarien in Führung. И в действии средней линии Джуркаев выходит 1 на 1 и забивает гол. Боковой арбитр показывает, что все нормально. Положения игры нет. Юрий Джуркаев открывает.
Юрий Джуркаев. I love the way he still somehow makes it sound like a Russian name. Юрий Джуркаев.
Пас назад, удар, гол. Гол. Хосе Каминеро после передачи вышедшего на замену 17 номера Манхарина забивает ответный мяч.
Mit vorne. Und da ist das Tor.
The German commentary is my favorite.
Laurent Blanc. 21. Minute. Das 1:0 für Frankreich.
Сборная Франции пришел в штрафную болгарской команды. Гол!
Гол!
Просто великолепно. Второй гол в сегодняшнем матче Лорана Блана. Лоран Блан точно в такой же манере.
Laurent Blanc is Lorana Blana.
Бесподобный, великолепный удар. Красивейший гол Христа Стоичкова. Сокращает разрыв в матче Франция-Болгария до минимума. 2-1.
Who was the French goalie? God, what was his name?
Луко выходит 1 на 1, обыгрывает вратаря. Гол!
Patrice Loco, God.
Делает счет 3-1 в пользу сборной Франции в матче с командой Болгарии.
Манхарин. И мяч в воротах. Это Хавьер Манхарин. Видел он сейчас, где...
New contract. We are on 26 grand a week. They're happy. I've signed a new deal. You've just signed a new contract. You must be delighted. Yep, I'm loving it here. It's a no-brainer. Can you keep the good times rolling? It's only the beginning. We're hungry for long-term success. This is not about one game or one season. This is about building a dynasty at Blackburn Rovers, and we deserve it for the hard work that we've put in, that we find ourselves back in the Premier League and playing well. And I've got to say, the young lads that we've brought in and the experienced heads that are helping them out, myself included, deserve a lot of credit. But we also must not sit on our laurels, resting on them, sitting on them, whichever it is. We must not sit on them, nor stand on them, nor accidentally leave them on the floor for the wife to hoover up or the dog to do its business on. We must look after those laurels and remind ourselves that you get nothing for free in this life. German football commentary is so boring. I don't think so. Any statement on fans asking and demanding a 6'7" giant lad from the north? I don't know if there even are any 6'7" giant lads that we could sign at the moment. I do always keep my eye out for lanky players. Can we beat Norwich? Let's find out. It's 6 a.m. and you're up with the partridge. Or was it 5 a.m.? It is 5:05 a.m. That was such a great start to the series. In one scene, it tells you everything you need to know about where Alan Partridge is, what he's doing, how it's gone since Knowing Me, Knowing You with Alan Partridge. I was so confused when that show first came out, because I'd watched some of the day-to-day, but I hadn't watched a huge amount of it when it was originally on TV. Because remember, there was no internet in those days. There was no way to know what was good, unless one of your mates was like, have you watched the day-to-day? So if your friends aren't watching it, you don't really, just because sometimes things fly under the radar. So then, Knowing Me, Knowing You with Alan Partridge was on, and I watched one episode, and quite honestly, because I was a very, very naive young man. I thought, is this for real? I could not understand what was going on. That sort of naturalistic comedy, just I hadn't twigged it yet. Diego! Goal! Are they in the championship? Yes. No, listen, this is misinformation. Okay, I've got Blackburn in the Premier League. We are in the Premier League. Norwich are also in the Premier League. I am in real life a Bournemouth fan. They are also in the Premier League. Oh God, Joe Linton. The Joe Linton. Reinvented as a quasi-effective midfield player. Oh! Do you think growing up outside the UK had an effect on that? I think, yeah, I was, Americans are very, a lot of them, very sort of sweet and innocent people. Genuinely. They're not particularly curious about things that they don't know about. You know what I mean? I'm sure that's offended a lot of the Americans in chat, but it's just a sweet, kind of innocent group of people some of the time. You are also heavily armed and given to bouts of extreme violence, which is scary. But yeah, it's when I was growing up there, I certainly lacked cynicism, and sarcasm is a thing. Like, New York is quite a tough city, and sarcasm is a thing in New York. Like, it really is. New Yorkers are very sarcastic, and I certainly was exposed to, I'd say in terms of knowing when I should be concerned when I'm out and about. Like, I see some people completely clueless, but not streetwise, but certainly having the smarts to be aware of what's around you when you're out and about is something that I think I've still got from growing up in New York, because you just see, you get used to keeping your eye out for the fucking lunatics, and believe me, New York has a lot of fucking lunatics. So you just get used to sort of, you know, keeping your eye out and being aware of potential danger. I noticed over here some people are just sort of apparently don't see it at all. Because our streets aren't as dangerous. In some parts they are, but for the main, compared to the States, I'd say, certainly in the 80s, growing up in New York, there were parts like the Bronx and that you just didn't go to, or if you drove through them, you had to have your windows wound up, and you know, if you were walking around with any jewelry on, you took it off when you went through certain neighborhoods. It was properly rough. So I like to think that whenever I'm out and about, I'm always switched on to keeping an eye out for where the loonies are. And I know some people just don't seem to have any awareness of that at all. So in that regard, I'd say I wasn't naive. But when it comes to anything like not really understanding if someone is joking or not, I really struggled with that for a long time. Because although New Yorkers are sarcastic, the more sarcastic, it's more obvious. British people on the whole love to be very subtly sarcastic. And it's like such a part of the language, you don't even really notice you're doing it. Whereas in the States, New Yorkers would be like, oh yeah, sure. Yeah, like I park here all the time. You know, like that kind of sarcasm. It's like, ugh, it's like in your face. Whereas Brits will just deadpan sarcasm took me a long time to get used to. And yes, I did used to have a New York accent. Would you like to hear it? I have a recording from when I was a child. I would have been about 5 or 6. A tape that I made, and my dad sent me an MP3 of it. Okay, so here it is. This is long. I won't play all of it.
Edward Forsyth. One day, a man was walking through the forest, and he spied a fire. Also, in the fire, he saw a ghost walking. On a horse. And he ran away, but the ghost kept coming faster.
The ghost!
And the man started to cry. and the ghost caught up to him. He shot him with a gun, a fake gun that is, which is a ghost one, and the man fell down dead. Fell down. And when he fell down, he landed in some quicksand. Help, he screamed. But it didn't work. No one heard him, only the ghost. So he said, "Ooh, I was going to revenge you. You killed me." Ooh. And he ran away on his horse. No one has ever heard of the man since, but only the ghost knows what he looks like. Since he fell in the quicksand.
Quicksand. Obsessed with quicksand.
But since someone saw this and called the authorities.
That's my sister.
The authorities found out that the man's hand was still sticking out. So they found him and took him to the hospital. But it was no use. He was dead. They saw the bullet marks. They tried to heal him with every single thing they had, but it wouldn't work. So his brother went out to have revenge on the ghost for a change. But when he did, he had to enter a haunted house to get the ghost. When he entered, he had to knock on the door. But no one answered. Then the door creaked open. And the man entered. Then suddenly it slammed behind him. And the man was so scared, he ran up the stairs. It was there. But upstairs, he heard some really fiery sounds and a big wind.
Sniffing.
When the man heard this, he was really scared. So he ran back down the stairs and he ran around a corner that was there in the house. But when he ran around the corner, he saw a load of bones in the kitchen.
It's not that strong a New York accent, but saw and things like the talked, like it's very New York. You can hear it. Like if you heard that, you'd say that's kind of like, it's not like someone from Yonkers or something like that. You know, like the really thick New York accent. Any more than like, my kids have a London accent, but they don't have like a Cockney accent. You know what I mean? So I think you would definitely say that quite a few of the things my kids say I find I've got a weird mix now of like default Southern accent with Dorset mixed in, depending on how drunk I get and where I am, or occasionally New York words, the pronunciation. Also, I don't say like, I say elevator, I say truck, I don't say faucet, I say tap, but there are certain words that are just burned into my brain as default words, and I have to stop myself. I don't ever say lorry for some reason. I always say truck. Because I grew up as a kid. I loved cars and trucks, you know, like little boys do. So I had loads of toy cars. So to me, it's a truck. Like it must have been a big formative thing. You see trucks as a kid, you're like, whoa, you know. But yeah, quicksand, I guess, must have been in some TV show I was watching or something. I say boot. I do say boot. I don't say trunk. But I didn't have a car, so you know, as a kid, I didn't have a. We had a car, but I was never involved with the trunk. So yeah, it's weird. There are some words that I put in and out. There's one bit where my accent is like really strong. Yeah, G.I. Joe, that kind of stuff.
There, which was open, and when he did, they came rushing to the authorities figured out that it was just an illusion, because if he had seen it, the door wouldn't have slammed behind him. But what they didn't know was that it wasn't an illusion. He wanted to have revenge They find him.
Sister coughing.
They found him in the quicksand. He'd fallen in there. Well, he was trying to get his brother out because his brother was heavier than him. He was 99 pounds, and the other guy was only 37.
99 pounds, and he's the heavy brother.
Because he was only about 20. I mean, he was only about, say, like 37. And
like, he was only like, say 37. Like that is my old accent. Anyway, it really makes me laugh. 37 pounds, yeah, he was a heavy guy. He weighed 99 pounds. And the other guy, he was all like 37. But no, this is just, I still had this same tape recorder way after we moved to the UK and well into my teens. It was the classic Fisher-Price tape recorder. God bless it. It was probably my favorite, most used toy of all time. This is it. Right there. Look at this thing. It could record. It had 4 buttons and you could record on it. Like, it was an incredible piece of kit. It really was. I recorded stuff off the TV with it. Yeah, it was an absolute vintage piece of equipment. It's incredible. And it took just basic cassette tapes. So I was recording with that, and then I would record when Top of the Pops was on. I would record songs off it on that so I could listen back to them later. Because again, remember, if you didn't have the song, you couldn't hear the song. Like, you could not listen to stuff again. Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was like military grade durability in a Fisher, like a lot of Fisher-Price toys were back then. They were built, you could fucking smash this thing around, it would still work. Tonka trucks was a thing. I had a lot of Tonka trucks, which was just a metal truck. It was like literally a steel truck. And you could just chuck this thing down the stairs, no problem. It was incredible. Let me see if I can find my old Tonka truck. It was not yellow. It was not this yellow one. It was not this big yellow one that I see on Shutterstock. It was older than that. I'm pretty sure. Maybe it was like this. I seem to remember it being a different color, but I think it was this. Pretty sure it was this truck. It was amazing. They just never fucking broke. It was like so hardy, and you know, it was great because you could do all kinds of stuff with it, and it just wouldn't give a hoot. Like, you could literally bang this thing around. I think it's the same as the Fisher-Price tape recorder. It was like, you know, when they ruggedize stuff for use by the military, like those laptops, and they come in like a case with all padding, and there's like a massive thick screen protector. This thing could, you know, a grenade could go off nearby, and this thing's still going to keep going. I'm telling you, that was the Fisher-Price tape recorder. It was crazy. The thing just, you could not break it. Look at all these lines. Fantastic. The Tonka crane. I don't think I had the crane. I had a lot of Star Wars toys, a lot of He-Man toys, a lot of guns, a lot of guns. Laser guns, like those kind of ones, lit up. I had guns where you, as you pull the trigger, sparks goes like that, and sparks shoot out the front. I had a lot of pop guns. I had like the old Winchester rifle, like that, where you load it like that to cock it, and then it fires a cork out the end. Magically, the day I got it, all the corks went missing. I don't know what happened. I subsequently found out, of course. My mum and dad had just fucking gone like, this is ridiculous, because I was just knocking stuff over. I guarantee you the biggest market for Nerf guns was parents. God, the Transformers. Insane. And where I grew up in Queens, there was a... So the population of Queens at that time, now it's all Latinos, but at the time it was Koreans, Jewish people, Eastern Europeans, and white people. And I was one of the white people. And so all my friends were Jewish, or there were some Chinese as well, or Korean. So, oh, that is such a dog shit goal. So a lot of the Koreans would have little stores that sold everything. Knockoff versions of everything. You want a handbag? Oh yes, it's a real schmoochy handbag. You know, it's not Gucci, it's schmoochy or whatever. So it was like that. And they would sell knockoff Transformers for like a couple of bucks. You could get a Transformer. Or like rip off Star Wars, you know, figures. So we would go to the Korean stores and I would always get a dodgy Transformer. So I had a load of dodgy ones. But for my birthday and Christmas and stuff, or if I was particularly good, we'd get a real Transformer. And I had loads of them. I had the one who was a cassette deck, and he had, in the cassette bit, a small Transformer would pop out. Like, you could pop them out, and it would be like a leopard or something like that. A Jaguar. A Jaguar. I loved him. Was it Soundwave? Okay. I had Bumblebee, I had Optimus Prime, was it Starscream? Was the jet, the actual, like, oh, one of the kids at school had, I think it was called Starscream. It was huge, it's like this big. He brought it into school with putts, and we were all super jealous. His teacher, what was his fucking name? He was a real prick. The teacher was not happy. His parents were always buying him shit like that. I had one of the smaller planes. It was like an F-15 or something like that. It was like about that big. That was a good one to transform. I had... They did a thing, I'm sure, where they were like... I think they were insects, and they were also dinosaurs, I think. Because I had some dinosaurs that transformed into robots, and I had some insect things that turned into robots. But they might have been the knockoff ones. And then when we came to the UK, it was all GoBots, right? Which were like the shitty British version of Transformers. Insecticons. Sounds about right. But the official Transformers came with a heat-activated hologram that you rubbed your finger on it, and if it changed to reveal if it was a Decepticon or a Transformer, or whatever was it the Autobots, right? The Decepticons are the Autobots. So you rubbed the sticker, and if it revealed the symbol, it was authentic. The UK did have Transformers too, but we also had our own thing, which was the really shitty, I'm sure it was GoBots. They also had, so we had G.I. Joe in the States, and I had a lot of G.I. Joe figures as well, because the cartoon was really big when I was a kid. It was like huge. It was like the biggest show. That and Transformers, enormous. And there was a British version of G.I. Joe. The enemy was like a big red skull guy who flew basically something that looked like... It basically looked like a TIE fighter, but the pilot sat in like a red skull. I can't remember what it was called. No, not Action Man. Action Man was bigger. Action Man was bigger. I had Action Mans. When I'd go back to the UK, to see my grandmother and to go on holiday because my mum, obviously, you know, my mum and dad are both English. So, well, my dad's Canadian, but he grew up in England. We would go back to the old country, and we would get toys, and Action Men was the big one. But I'd love to know what that toy was in the UK. Yeah, the aircraft carrier. You'd see it in the back of comics, the G.I. Joe stuff. There'd be the range, and it was like, oh my fucking god, this thing is incredible. It was huge. It was huge. It cost a fortune. The episode about G.I. Joe toys on the Toys That Made Us is really good. It's really good. See if I can find. This is UK action figures from the 80s. Like, these are all the He-Man and stuff like that. I had the Rambo. It was terrible. This was awful. My mum got this for me. I was way too old for Rambo at that point. Fucking classic Skeletors. Vintage Ghostbusters action figures. So these came out. The Ghostbusters came out. Cartoon came out when I moved over here, and it wasn't really for me. Thundercats, I was too old for these. That's G.I. Joe. What's that? I think that maybe Action Man made a range of smaller... Action Force! This is it! Action Force. It was... Okay, so it was Action Man, Action Force. And they had this kind of Red Skull Nazi thing going on. Holy shit. Oh! You were right. You were right. This was the guy, the SAS guy. I had this guy. I loved this guy. Came with a rope and a grapnel. And you could like... They were like mini versions of the Action Men. These were the baddies. They all had these Nazi uniforms in them. I had so many of these. I loved them. Didn't have any of the vehicles. The build quality was not quite there. I didn't have the headquarters. I had Castle Grayskull. I had this thing. It was fucking great. What was I had Skeletor's castle as well. And it had a microphone in it. I'm sure it did. This thing. Yeah, it had a microphone. And traps. Like the door would ping, like they stand on there and it makes them fall into a cave and stuff like that. But it had a microphone. The microphone was fucking great. You pick that up. That was the box. There you go. Look at this. So you come through, you fall into the net. That's right. It was so good. You knocked him in with the snake. The snake whipped around, you knocked him into the net and you had them captured. And then, of course, they would escape through the tunnel. But it was like, so He-Man. Like, you could do that. Because, of course, Skeletor's voice... Hold on, wrong button. Skeletor's voice kind of had an echo to it. It was funny. The Ghostbusters house. I remember something about ectoplasm and goo.
Nice jump, Alistair.
Ghostly_Steve just resubbed for 1 month.
Thank you. So I think I was too old for this at this point. This is the real Ghostbusters Firehouse headquarters. I think at this point, so I didn't get any of these Ghostbusters toys because I think at this point my parents' divorce had gone through and we were now poor. So I didn't get toys like this very often because shipping stuff costs so much money. My dad would buy stuff and send it surface mail, so it would take like months to get here. I remember that. And when we would go back to the States, I remember I went back for Christmas a couple of times, and my mum would come too, and we would have to bring a spare suitcase for all the toys that our neighbors would get me and my sister. Our neighbors, when I was growing up, were these two gay guys, Mike and Dick, who were the sweetest guys ever. And of course, being gay, they didn't have kids of their own, so they spoiled my sister and me unbelievably. Bought us so much shit. Take us out for pancakes, and you know, they wouldn't tell us don't put so much syrup on our stuff. Every time we were out, they get us an ice cream. They just buy stuff for us all the time. They were so sweet. They both died of AIDS. Terrible. Terrible. I think they were my mum's best friends. Not only did we have to move away, she then had to hear about them dying from afar. It was dreadful. I don't think she ever really recovered from that, you know. I know it's still something I think about all the time. Yeah. Don't have kids if you're not sure you're going to be with your partner. That's rule one of having kids. I learned that. Learned that from my old man. Alright team, let's fucking go. Keep going, lads. We have stopped winning and we have started drawing, which is not good. We need to get a dub. I mean, we're 9 games in. We've already got half of our points total for the whole of last season, so we're doing great. Oh. Yeah, I think if your parents are... I mean, my parents, when they got divorced, it was never that my dad was mean or that, you know, they would have terrible arguments or that they became enemies or whatever. I mean, they were... My sister got married a couple of months ago. Oh! And my parents were both at the wedding. You know, they had a chat and everything. But, yeah, there's not hate there, you know what I mean? Just sadness, I think. From my mum's side, anyway. My dad's having the fucking time of his life. Retired to Florida and lived in the heat. Plenty of money. No kids. Oh! We signed a couple of players that are new, and then a lot of the youngsters that we were struggling to bed in last season have really improved. And a couple of the players that we had on loan last season, they had in the loan deal a future purchase sort of fee. So the board gave us a shitload of money and we sold some players, so I had some money, and Don't let complacency creep into your game, gentlemen. Yeah, don't appear complacent. I hope so, old Krusty. I hope so. That is something Firmino does better than oh, Boyce Clark, ex-player of mine. Firmino does that better than our other striker, whose name I can never remember because it's quite a weird one. He holds it up really, really well. Like, he gets the ball, it sticks to him, he turns away, creates a bit of space, plays a good pass. He's very useful. That's why I like having him as a sub. You can bring him on, and he will just solidify. You know those last few minutes when you just don't want to give the ball away? He's the guy. He win it back, nice sensible pass, get into a scoring position, that kind of shit. And, oh, I was going to say he can also score. That was unfortunate. Another dub. Can we keep a clean sheet, gentlemen, please? Well done, Diego. Diego's been excellent, by the way. Try and sign him next season. He's only on loan. Ref, just blow up. You're already 30 seconds over. Thank you. Pickford went to Arsenal. They signed him, and I'm not sure why, but they did. I don't know if he's first choice there. Oh, he's a good goalie. He was good for us. So they have... Pickford is injured. He's out for a couple of weeks. Diogo Costa... I wonder if Pickford's even played for them. No, so he's just their backup goalie. They spent $3.5 million, and they're paying him 50 grand a week just to be a backup goalie. A good lad. He was good for us. So we got Musto, who we had on loan last season. Young goalie, looks decent. I promoted one of my youth teamers, Lucas Weatherby, who's probably not going to be... Well, my coach has convinced me he's going to be a star player. So we'll see. But he is 18. I bought this lad in, 28-year-old Brazilian from Spurs. They paid 37.5 million quid for him. Barely played him. He then complained, I want to go, I'm not playing. Half price Brazilian. I'll take that. He's decent. This guy was already at the club. Hal Gomez was on loan here. Sorry, Hal Gomez was my big signing from Chelsea last season, and he's having a much better season this season. I often feel, quite often, it takes a season for the players to really bed in. So he's been good. Johan Ann was here last season and was not great last season, is playing terrific this season. Nicholas Sladajevic, we got him on loan last season, and there was an option in the loan deal for a future purchase of 28 million quid, and I was like, yes, please. Liverpool apparently didn't value him, and they're also mid-table, so you know, why would he want to stay there? We got Matteo Cancellieri for 20 million quid from Fulham. and he's been good. Nice, classy, wide player, reliable. Cole Chandler was a lad that we had borrowed when I was at Leighton, and he looked good. He went again on loan to Leighton in the championship, and I thought, you know what, Cole, you're young. I like your physicals. You're a determined young fella. Get in here. So I signed him as well. Pascal Borlard is a youth teamer of ours that we signed from Zulte Waregem. Loaned him out to Austria Vienna last season. Now he's in our team, and I quite like him. I think he's going to be a good player. This is another youth teamer of ours. We signed from Ibar, loaned him out to West Brom. He did all right, and now he's playing for us, and hopefully he'll be good. I like, again, his stats are decent, lots of flair, good off the ball, good first touch. You know, he's only young, he might get there. Martin Rodriguez, I signed him a while back. Young winger who I'm hoping comes good fairly soon, but I'm not filled with hope. But my scouts assure me Martin Rodriguez is going to be a decent player, so okay. Yannick Hofmeier, another guy we had on loan last season, this time from Dortmund, same deal. At the end of the loan, you can buy him for X amount, and I thought, yeah, let's buy him. He looks like he might be a good player one day. And Jaka Fakonya obviously was here last season. We signed him from Mura for 1.8. He didn't do great. He was mainly a substitute. But whenever he started, he didn't really look good. But this season, he's been on fire. And he has scored 10 goals in 9 starts. He's absolutely flying. So he's good. So, yeah, 2014 World Cup. This is Euros, and he was always really, really good in Football Manager. Goran Vlahovic. Wonder how many goals did he score for Panathinaikos in real life? 29 goals in 64 appearances. Interesting. He wasn't their first choice striker from the looks of it. I loved him in that chat, man. He scored so many goals for me. It was Vlahovic, and I'd signed Mads Jornsson. And the thing is, back in those days, if you were in the Champions League, regardless of how, like, I don't know if it had the league prestige thing, because I had Panathinaikos. I just loved them because I'd seen some footage of Panathinaikos fans, and I thought they looked absolutely bonkers. They were just like jumping up and down and flares and everything. I thought, wow. And their kit is really good and iconic. I think Panathinaikos' symbol is like, it's the four-leaf clover, I think. Yeah, there it is. The three-leaf clover, sorry. I love their kit, and their ground is little, but it was always like absolutely jumping, you know? Yeah, anyway. So I would always manage them in Greece because you could get into the Champions League. And if you were in the Champions League, it was so good for your profile that you could sign all these amazing players. And I would sign like all the best players that I could find. All the famous players in the world, you could get them. Because they was like, oh, he's won the Champions League. Despite the fact that you're playing in the Greek league. But we would win like every game. It was great. I had one game, I think the score was 8-7. We won it 8-7. And Mads Jornsson scored all 8 of our goals. It was unprecedented in world football. Kermrad, that is fucking funny, dude. He's a footballer. You know, he's a footballer. He doesn't know how to use a till. And not giving up then. Love to see that. There's the ball, Rafa. Cancelleri. Oh, he fucking hit that, didn't he? What is this? Oh, this is the League Cup, for fuck's sake. Now, we put the reducer on a couple of them, Martinelli included. Oh shit, that's unfortunate. Good save. Rafa's still on the team. Yeah, of course. He's been absolutely phenomenal for us. He's like one of our best players, dude. I mean, he's not, you know, he's not like some world beater. But, a lot of the games we played last season, towards especially that tail end when we stayed up, that run, Rafa was enormous for us. Thing is, he's not like the best player in the world, but that Mazzala role that he plays, so many of our attacks come down the right. So many of our attacks come down the right. Oh! Keeper's out! Faconia shoots! Good block. Christ. That was exciting. Cancelleri. That's true, he is not a 6'7" lad from the north, but what he is a little nimble Brazilian midfielder. Yes, Mark Joshi Grutson. Stop goading my fans. Gah. Yeah, it's a shame, you know, obviously, whilst the League Cup is not the most prestigious of tournaments, it's always nice to be in it with a chance. Fourth round, you know, you get knocked out in the fourth round, you think, well, not that many teams left, and maybe we can have a tilt at some silverware, but not to be. Arsenal, very, very close game. Very close game. I think we definitely could have got something from it, but not to be today. Hope the fans aren't too downcast, because the league is the focus, of course. Staying up and trying to work on our league position, finish as high up the table as we can. That's the goal, and the distraction, if you like, of the League Cup. Whilst it, you know, it's always painful to lose. I would rather lose in that than in the league. We'll put it that way. We've had Rafa for years, yeah. I want to say that. I want to say he was one of my first signings. So we signed him in. This is his 4th season. He was in our promotion campaign. He was brilliant. Last year he really struggled in the Premier League. But look at this. Look at this adaptation. He's already scored almost as many goals as he did last year, and he's already set up 6 goals. I think part of it is if we put Mariba in for João Gomez. There's normally like a little three-way, like we know with the lines. I don't know why it's not there right now. I guess because they haven't played together lately. But that understanding is big. It's big. Just make sure Mrs. F is awake because I don't want to nap in too much. Big game. Oh, Marcus Rashford is now 32 and has been at Man U his entire career. So the thing with the Mazzala role is, because we haven't got like amazing wingers that can just beat people and then cross the ball, we need to work it in there. So what happens, the way a lot of our goals are scored, lovely stuff. I think it's offside. I don't see how it can be. Yeah, ridiculous. Offside. Ridiculous. Man complaining about nothing. So I'll show you when it starts, if it happens in this game. So what will happen is, we fart about with it on the right, our winger cuts in because he's getting held up, or the ball gets played around, and Rafa finds himself in space. And from out here he plays it across, or he plays a cross in, and he just creates so much. And also his through balls are insane. Favourite Premier team this season? Well, Bournemouth. I'm a Bournemouth fan, aren't I? Whoa. Oh, it's just... Again, the Man U players are appealing for offside. I don't see how. They just can't handle McCormack at the back stick. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. I think they all stopped thinking it was a foul. That would have been some goal. They haven't had a shot yet. They'll score with their only shot. They'll have 2 shots, score 2 goals, and it's a 2-2 draw. You've got to give players time. Also, he's just very important to the way we play. When you play with one up front, you need some little mobile, dribbly bugger to pick up the pieces, and his through balls, like I said, are absolutely insane. Also, Cancellieri seems like he can actually take a corner and a free kick. In terms of serving up a ball for McCormack to head in anyway. Dog shit. their only shot. Here we go. This ridiculous football will somehow lead to a goal for them, I guarantee it. This has gone on far too long to not be a goal. Here it comes. Oh.
Nice jump, Alistair.
Norenrad 27 just resubbed for 66 months.
Thank you. Get a third, come on. Put a bow on it. Murphy, that's dog. Referee! Come on, punish them. Oh. Yes! Yes! Take that, you mank bastards! Go on, fuck off! Yes! Yeah, absolutely over the moon with that. Obviously, beating the bastards in Manchester is one of the crucial highlights of the season, especially Man U. You know, especially Man U. Felt really good beating them. What didn't feel good was giving up a 2-goal lead. That was annoying. That was annoying, and I don't think that they deserved it. I think we played them off the park, and then we gave them 2 silly chances, and they took them. And I don't like that. I do not like that. I think it was sloppy, and we definitely could have done better at defending. But credit to the young Murphy. He's come on and he's done the business and he's slotted it through. But again, it was a good team move, lovely through ball, and he's took it well. Something he's been working on in close season is actually closing out games, taking chances. So great result. Obviously, not complaining about the 3 points, but please, let's not give away 2 daft goals like that, because some weeks we won't score 3 and then it's points dropped. So that's what we need to work on. Look at this lot. So that is Eddie Robertson, an English left back, and they have Dean Henderson in goal. Dean Henderson, formerly of, well, always Man U apparently. Bruno Fernandes is still there, creaking around, 35 years of age. Tindenbogand is their striker, and he looks pretty blooming good. They bought him from Stuttgart for 51 million quid. Who else have they got? Marcus Rashford still going. Didn't give us too many problems. This lad gave us problems. Kulusevski, he was good. How much did they buy him for? 85 million quid. He looked quality. And of course, they only found 13 starts for him. That might have been they bought him halfway through the season, so it's hard to know.
Nice jump, Alistair.
Shark and Grat just resubbed for 3 months. Flax love ya, baby. Keep up the good work.
Manuel Ugarte, a non-scoring defensive midfielder. Casemiro, 37, still going. 68 million pounds signing. He's only once in the last 5 seasons got close to in the 6th season got close to a 7. It's not really very good, is it? Just a default lad. Diego Dalot still going. And Tyrell Malakia is their left back. What a non-star-studded team that is from Man U. They were. VAR was all over it, trying to stop it. You can't stop this. A little bit concerned with the performances of Sebastian Gaviria this season. A little bit concerned with his performances because this is not good. 687 needs to do better. Ethan McCormack has been brilliant this season. Luckily, he's been fantastic for us. But we need his partner to play well too, because Robin Lenormand is he's all right. He's fairly dependy. In terms of wage bill, we are the lowest wage bill in the Premier League. We don't need a new stadium. Stadium's fine. We're not even filling the one we've got. Our average attendance is 28,000, using 91% of our capacity, so that's better. We've sold out 3 times, 5 home matches. So previously we were only half filling the stadium. We're now 91%. Where do we see? Is it under Club Vision supporters? So our hardcore fans are now 11%. I wish there was a way to see how this has changed over time. Oh, there's a season ticket waiting list of nearly 30,000 people. That's good. Right, it's nearly 6 o'clock. I'm going to stop there. I will be back at 8. I hope you can join me then. Cheers for watching. Take it easy. Peace out.